Dude on Twitter says, quote, I was having sex with my girlfriend when she started her period, so I dumped that bitch immediately, end quote. Dear Nameless Dummy on Twitter, you're the reason my daughter cried funeral tears when she started her period. The sudden grief she felt after the matriculation from childhood and the induction into a reality that she would have to negotiate people like you and your disdain for what her body can do, herein begins an anatomy lesson. Infused with feminist politics because I hate you. Twitter dummy, there's a thing called a uterus. It sheds itself every 28 days or so, or in my case every 23 days because I've always been a rule breaker, but that's the anatomy part. I digress. The feminist politic part is that women know how to let things go, how to let a dying thing leave the body, how to regenerate, how to become new, just waxing and waning, not unlike the moon and tides, both of which influence how you behave, Twitter dummy. I digress. Women have vaginas that can speak to each other. By this I mean, when we're with our partners or our friends or our sisters or our mothers, our menstrual cycles will actually sync the fuck up. It's amazing. The shit's amazing. My own cervix is so influential. Everybody I love knows how to bleed with me. Hold on to that, because there's a metaphor in it. But when your mother carried you, the ocean in her belly is what made you buoyant, made you possible. You had it under your tongue when you burst through her skin, wet and panting from the heat of her body, the body whose machinery you now mock on social media, that body wrapped you in everything that was miraculous about it and sung you lullabies laced in platelets without which you wouldn't have no Twitter account at all, motherfucker. Possible that we know the world better because of the blood that visits some of us. It interrupts our favorite white skirts. It shows up at dinner parties unannounced. Blood will do that, period. Blood is the biggest siren, and we understand that blood misbehaves. It does not wait for a hand signal or a welcome sign above the door. And when you deal in blood over and over and over again like we do, when it keeps returning to you, that makes you a warrior. And while all good generals know not to discuss battle plans with the enemy, let me just say this to you real quick, dummy on Twitter. If there's any balance in the universe at all, you will be blessed with daughters. Blessed. Etymologically, blessed means to make bleed. See, now it's a lesson in linguistics. In other words, blood speaks. That's really the message, but just stay with me. Your daughter's gonna teach you what everybody has to learn, because women, made of moonlight, magic, and macabre, will make you know the blood. We'll get it all over the sheets and car seats. We're gonna do that. Period. We're gonna introduce you to our insides, and if you are as unprepared as we sometimes are, it can get all over you and leave a forever stain. So, to my daughter, should anybody be fool enough to mishandle the wild geography of your body, how it rides a red running current like any good wolf or a witch, well then just bleed. Give the blood a biblical name, something of stone and mortar. Maybe name it after Eve's first rebellion in that garden. Name it after the last little girl to have her genitals mutilated in Kinshasa. That was this morning. Give it as many syllables as there are unreported rape cases. Name the blood something holy, something mighty, something unlanguageable, something in hieroglyphs, something that sounds like the end of the world. Name it for the roar between your legs, and for the women who will not be nameless here, just bleed. Anyhow, spill your impossible scripture all over the good furniture. Bleed and bleed and bleed on everything they love. Period.